Hi everyone. This is the sixth game of my series that I have already been doing motifs and like logics, the logical chess. And this game is like till now, till five games I have shown you with the perspective of from white's perspective, and this one I'm going to show as black also. And you might have checked like this game is about the Sicilian Sveshnikov, and you might check my videos where I have posted few games about Sveshnikov Sicilian, and this is again a game, very logical game, and it's not at a higher level player, so for all club level players, it will be really. And if you are starting to learn chess, this game might help you a lot. So let's just start with this game further. So the opponent played pawn to e4. The white plays the pawn to e4, and like I said, there are replies against e4. These are the common replies. So c5 was played. This is the Sicilian opening, and now against Sicilian also, we might have close Sicilian. We have knight c3. This is close Sicilian, and this is open Sicilian. Knight f3. We have pawn f4, the Grand Prix. We have pawn c3, the Alapin, and we have pawn to d4. This is the Grand Prix, not sorry, Grand Prix, Smith-Morra Gambit. So here the opponent, like the white played pawn knight to f3. This knight f3 moves. It means that it's going to be open Sicilian. So yeah, you might think of play d6 also, and knight c6 or immediate hyper accelerated dragon is g6 is the way. And yeah, knight c6 was played, and then we have pawn d4. Just the reason why knight f3 comes, the logic behind knight f3 move is to plan d4 move, strikes in the center, because black is having a pawn here, so you white want exchange. And then like you take it, knight will take back. And now this is the thing. Now the logic of playing knight c6 with white is with black is that let's say if you try and play d6 going for normal Sicilian, the reason is that after d4 c takes d4, queen takes d4. This check over variation is there. So maybe in some lines or some players try to avoid this check over variation, and that's why they play knight c6 here. Now d4 comes, you capture, and white takes back, and now no need to capture back the knight. The queen will come to the center. So here black plays very logical move, that is knight f6, because it makes sense, because the e4 pawn is like not protected, so it makes sense to attack it. So, and you're also developing a piece, so it makes sense. Now obviously white has to save the pawn, so white plays knight c3 again, development of a piece and saves the knight. Now here comes the move that was I was talking about, and this opening is all about. The name of the opening is Sveshnikov. So we have pawn to e5. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, you are giving up the square, but what do you do? Like you black is asking that what do you do? Your knight is under attack, so controlling the d5 doesn't give you a lot. So knight has to move. Knight goes to b5. The whole idea of putting the knight onto b5 is to go onto d6 square and get your dark square bishop. So if you are playing as black, you might be very careful that you don't want to give up this dark square bishop. And if you don't want to give up the dark square bishop, the only way to stop the knight from coming onto d6 is to play the pawn itself to d6. Now the knight never captures. Now here two moves are possible. One is the immediate knight to d5, and the other one is bishop g5. So I will be posting one lecture also on these two different variations, giving two different games. So yeah, we have bishop g5, pinning the knight, and now here we have pawn a6. Yeah, remember immediate bishop e7 doesn't work, because then bishop takes knight, bishop takes, and you happy to lose the d6 pawn. I don't think so you will be happy. So that's why immediate bishop e7 never play. First we kicks away the knight. We try to kick this knight away. Now the reason we are attacking this knight is like obviously you don't want that knight to be stay on very close to your territory. So it makes sense to get it back. So here knight can one move is knight can go back to a3, and then you play pawn to b5. So here but white plays something else. White simply captures the knight. Now obviously if you're a good chess player, you might think capturing with the queen is not a great idea. Why? Because if you capture, then knight c7, like I will show you, knight c7 check comes, picks up the rook. So you have to capture with the g pawn. Okay, it seems that your this g file is getting opened up, but that's very useful for you in future. I'll show you how. So now the knight is under attack, so white has to do something about it. Knight goes back to a3, and now we have pawn a5. Now this is very logical move because you have double pawns and you want to get rid of your double pawns. So that's the thing. And if black takes, white takes, you have always have bishop which is getting developed, and that's what played in the game, like e cross f5, and now we have bishop cross f5, and now white played queen f3. White's plan is to do the queenside castle, and maybe in some lines like b5 is not possible here. Obviously, I don't think so. No, anyone will play it to b5 move here. I think here the best move for black should be something like knight to d4. Attacks the queen in this and then this, so it makes sense. It's a good move. But here black played bishop g6. This also makes sense. You are keeping your bishop alive, and you want to play the bishop here. You want to do the castling. This is your idea. So here white did simply castle, and now rook c8. Further, like obviously the king comes to the c file. So this is again a very logical move that you are bringing your rook to the file where the opponent's king is. Bishop d3 was played. Now here comes the question, should we take it or not? Because taking it, then rook will come here and white will get a chance to double his rook on the d file and maybe pressurizing on the e7, so you never want to play bishop g7 then. Here black played pawn to b5. Now the whole idea of protecting your knight first is to play the b5 move also, because if you immediately play b5, your knight will be hanging. So the rook, once the rook comes here to guard the knight, now b5 will make sense. Now, okay, b4 is coming, but first here white do this, and now we have h cross g6, opening up the rook's file, and now knight d5. Obviously, you don't want to allow black to play b4 with a attack on the two knights. So bishop h6 check. Look at this development, giving a check and taking your piece out. Also, maybe he can do castling also, and king b1 was played because it's a check. And now black played a very nice move, and you really want to see knight to d4 attacks this thing, pressurizing the c2 pawn. But here white did a mistake, and it's a very big mistake, and he loses a piece. White played knight f6 check. Now why I'm saying it's a mistake? Because your queen is hanging already, and you are getting your other piece to get hang itself. Now the thing is, in the next move, once the king moves to f8, now here you need to protect the knight. But how will you protect your knight? You cannot go here, you cannot go here. There is no way to keep looking at this knight. White have thought of this move. White played queen b7. Now he's saying you can't capture my knight. I have always rook b8, rook queen into c8. So okay, but still he played b4, attacking this knight, and now white goes with a counter attack, attacks this knight. But still we can't take it, obviously. And now we have b cross c3. Look at that. This is a very cool move. Instead of taking a knight, we are like black is taking like this. Because the king queen will come, this pawn will be hanging, and this pawn can take it, and maybe this knight gets saved. But black finds a very great idea, b cross c3. Look at that. Now b takes it back, and now you must be thinking, why not to go rook b8, right? Rook b8 pins the queen. But the reason of playing immediate rook to b8 is that queen will take your rook, and if you take it, or maybe he can play this check, not that, because this will come with a check. So if you immediately play rook b8, I'll show you what will happen. Knight to this check will come. Now what you do? You can't take it with the queen because your queen will hang, and if you move the king, then you're happy to lose the rook. So yeah, but again, black is a good chess player. He finds a correct move here. They play the obviously best move, king g7. Again pressurizing the knight. Now again you can't move this knight to think king saving it, because now rook b8 will come with the threat of pinning the queen. So white played king a1, removing the queen. But now, can we still capture this move? Capture this knight? What do you think? Obviously, our knight is also hanging. So what black did? Black first captured the c3 pawn, attacking this knight, everything is hanging. Here he played queen b2. Now look at that. Now again, queen b2. And it is black's turn. And I think everyone can find this move. What could be the best move here? With the black pieces, it wins a piece. Rook cross a3 was played. And now rook cross d4 was played, and now e cross d4, and now okay, white is anyways losing this piece, so white just tries something this knight h5 to give a check and destroy the pawn structure, and then takes it, and now queen f6. Look at that. A lot of threats are coming. What do you do? Again, white tried something, queen g3 check to pick up this pawn, but then simply bishop g5. Look at that. Bishop g5. Now what? Do you think that this will trap the bishop? If you are thinking like that, let me tell you, this will be a checkmate coming. I'll show you why. If h4 comes, check, king has to move, and now rook to b8. Believe me, it's a checkmate. Look at that. So bishop g5 was a very provoking move. If you are not careful, thinking, okay, I win back my bishop, you will get checkmated. So here again, white played queen d3 to stop this discover check, but then rook b8 comes, trapping the queen. a3 was played, creating some breeding squares for the king, makes sense. But then queen cross f2. This checkmate is coming, and rook b1 was played, and rook cross b1, exchanging. Like, it makes sense. If you are up a piece, just try to exchange all the pieces. That is a really good idea while playing the game. If you are up a piece, try to exchange the pieces. So king cross b1 was played, and now everything fall apart. Now this pawn is gone. And now queen cross d4. Again, black tried something, but bishop f6. And now white simply resigned the game here because there is nothing more to be done. And if you move the queen anywhere else, let's capture, this checkmate is coming. And if you try to play anything else, it's still, anyways, it's like, it's still winning, because what do you do? Like, let's say queen f1 check might come, king can go to c2, and queen e2 check will come. You lose this pawn, and this checkmate threat will always remain. Like this checkmate remains. So yeah, after bishop f6, there was nothing that white can try, and he resigned the game. So yeah, this was the game, and you can go through it, and anything you can, if any opinion is there, you can drop it on the comment section. I would love to review it, and yeah.